What's going on, guys? And welcome to the Diamond Standard at the Collector. Going into day one, game one. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It would help me out greatly. It's going to be me against a nature deck. It looks like I started to record a little bit late, but I have a Fickle Cambion out there and a very expensive hand. So I'm definitely not very happy to be holding all these high cost cards. A little bit of an interesting deck. I don't want him spawning more spiders with the ability to just kill off everything I play, so he is super wide. I'm basically begging for a Ragnarok at this point. It's probably going to be about the only solution I have. Spending a lot of time sitting here thinking about what am I going to do. Yep. And then he gives everything the ability to just get huge. Yeah, and at this point, I don't really know that I can recover, but I try to play it out anyway. Yep. And basically, I think at that point, I know it's over. But I may. I mean, it's just the same thing as always. I play it out to the bitter end. And he makes it happen. So, going into game two with 0 wins and 1 loss. Gonna be facing another nature deck. Don't love this type of hand, but everything's playable early. And it's nice to have that in my hand and out of the deck so I don't draw into less expensive cards later. So it's a openable hand. Of course, don't want to draw a 6 cost, but that's alright. Hits the wrong one, but that means he has a kind of unproductive turn. Gives me a chance to ping him and then heal myself. That one damage, as often as it can be applied, can make a big difference. Selena's mark hits the right one this turn and he passes it back over. This gives me the chance to Nether Swarm Lord, which pumping up creatures and card draw is the way to go, basically. Obelisk is good, but I can always put it out later. Lightning Strike. Grab the wrong card. Clever me. Just trying to get through the deck and find a Corpse Explosion. I know that's basically going to be what ends it. And then he hit the wrong thing. And then yep, Canopy Barrage hit the wrong thing. So I won that one. Going into game 3, 1-1. That's pretty exciting. Another nature deck. Very nature heavy today. Always happy to open up with 2 Ragnaroks and a Blight Bomb against a nature deck. It just makes me thick. I pulled a Necroceptor, so this is a great open. Moonlight Charm makes me nervous. Chiron to get rid of my Necroceptor. Pump up the little walker there. So I decided to just go heavy Ragnarok to try to destroy everything that he's got out there. He ends up knowing that basically he has to keep that alive because it's what he's committed to, and it gets a bit large enough that I couldn't blight bomb it. He gave me some false hope there. I'm playing it out to the bitter end, but I know at this point that I'm in really bad shape. And he's got the damage, so GG, I hand it over, but he ends it. Headed into game 4 with 1 win and 2 losses. Not very happy, but what are you going to do? Started recording just a little bit late on this one. He's coming out super fast, and I'm having a real expensive hand with not a lot of opportunity, but I thought I could slow roll it. He ends up getting my obelisk, so I'm in really rough shape. I figured I needed to do as much as I can, but I probably should have saved the Ragnarok for another turn because it would have been way more effective a little bit later. I know at this point I'm just trying to get creatures out on the board, but he's going to overrun me quickly. When the war deck gets ahead of you, it's hard to catch up. And then he got the relic removal from the favor, so it'd be difficult to even catch up if I tried. Yeah, at this point I pretty much know he has the damage to end it, and that's GG. So, headed into game number 5 with 1 win and 3 losses. Not a very exciting way to start the day. I think I took a little bit of a break after that. Trying to get some of the expensive cards out of my hand. It's always a tough pick between the Decaying Rhino and the Fickle Cambion. The Fickle Cambion has the allure of getting bigger, but really the Decaying Rhino is tougher to kill. I know that I've got to get rid of that zombie spawner as soon as possible. The Lurker, I decide he probably won't have immediate force of will again, so I try to get out there, and it turns out he's got burn and give him some draw. I decide I don't want to play the Scepter at this point because I'm nervous that he's going to have Counterfeit in his hand. So I'm just avoiding that basically because I think he's likely going to be able to take it from me. Yep, he put my creatures to sleep. I'm still deciding not to try to get super wide, thinking I'm going to stand a chance. He's got the sleep though, so I know that late he's going to have a lot of control. Yep, then he's got more card draw, and I'm super low. He's got basically enough damage to take me out on the table anyway. I play it out anyhow because I'm a knucklehead. Of course, I try to buy the front line, but he can just use his god power and end it. Yep, GG. So I made it into game 6 with 1 win and 4 losses. Going to be facing a war deck. Always exciting. Not very excited about the open there. but I was able to control his creature and get some damage down. Getting ahead of a war deck can be super critical. At this point, I'm just going to try to stay wide and then get the Nether Swarm Lord out there nice and quick so that it buffs everything. Of course, giving me card draw because he's got a full hand. I have a lot of damage on the table at this point. He took as much off the board as he could, but I'm super large. Nether Swarm Lord followed by a Decaying Rhino is always, if he doesn't get rid of that Nether Swarm Lord, it just made a big problem even bigger. He gets a little bit of heal out there and then ends up surrendering, so I finally win one. So we're headed into game 2 or game 7 with 2 wins and 4 losses. Decent opening hand. Don't love the Fickle Cambion, but again can run with it. Pretty sure at this point gonna run into Anubians. He goes for the board clear, but a little bit of a waste after playing the Ragnarok and then playing the 2/2. But it's also part of the plan to get things out as quick as possible. He's trying to do a lot of controlling, but I'm getting quite a bit of damage down on the table. Frost Queen. He's looking to get as much damage down as possible, but I'm pretty sure at this point I know I'm going to have it, so GG. Headed into game 8 with 3 wins and 4 losses. Facing the first mage of the day. And he is looking for the 4C effect, or he has the 4C effect, so it always makes me think he's going to be playing control when I come in and see that, because he doesn't even want to ping. He wants to get as many board wipe cards as he can possibly draw. So I go for getting out the heavy hitters. The Decaying Rhinos are really hard for people. If you get 2 of them out back to back, they're really hard for people with board clear style decks because they have so many hit points. He tries to heal himself heavily. Mostly applying pressure. I'm in a pretty good spot, especially because I hold 2 Ragnaroks at this point. I know if he doesn't end it now, I can end it next turn, and he ends up surrendering. So he also knew that would happen. So it's game 9, headed into that with 4 wins and 4 losses. And another war deck. Pretty common to see war, especially hovering around a lot of solar gold, auric gold. Olympian gonna be playing. So I was curious to see what he had used there. The armor puts me in pretty good shape. It's tough for that to be killed off. Fickle Cambion open up. And then he's got a pretty wide board here. Pulling out some of the Band of Wolf, so that's always interesting to see. And then running into the buffs, but one of them is 8/7 from the transfer of power into their hand. And at this point, his board is huge, and I basically know I'm not going to stand much of a chance, but I'm going to try to play it out. I swing on that, and it gives both of his other creatures ward, which was silly, but he would have done it next turn if I didn't do it. Yeah, and I know he pretty much has damage next turn, but keep on trying. And I can basically guarantee he has it at this point, but make him kill me. Fight to that last breath. You never know if a mistake could happen. Game 10 headed into that with 4 wins and 5 losses. And another war deck. Very, very war heavy today. He's going to be going for some early protection. I decide if I get the armor out there, he can't kill them off. At least not with his relic. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to blight bomb that with its protection up, so I decide to kill it while it's got its protection on, because that's where I get the most value. And then blight bomb the other one, trying to stay as ahead of him as possible, because I don't have much left in my hand. Still just trying to keep his board clear, hoping that I draw into some spawning. And at this point, he plays out his entire hand, kind of knowing that he's got a good shot of just overrunning me at this point. Probably should have bought something from the favor and played it. And now he's got something every time I draw a card, he gets pumped up, but I decide to play the Nether Swarm Lord and get pumped up anyway. And he kills it immediately and just has a giant monster. And he's pretty much going to be putting down enough damage at this point that I'm not going to be able to overcome him. But worth a shot. Yeah, he just keeps buffing things up, and I know it's over. He's got pretty much that damage. If not that turn, the next turn. Yep. I hand it over and make him finish me off. So my overall score is going to end up being 4 wins and 6 losses for 8.983 gods. Thank you for watching.